It's happening, people. All right, everybody, welcome aboard here to the Sports Talk Nation. You know what this video is about. Big breaking news today. Everyone has seen it on Twitter, social media, all over the place. If you were watching the Met game as I was, you probably saw it there as well on the bottom line. Jamal Adams has been traded. He is no longer a member of the New York Jets. Traded to the Seattle Seahawks for multiple first-round picks, a couple of fourth-round picks, a lot of picks for that matter, that the Jets will get, as well as a safety in return as Adams, who wanted out as badly as anybody has been on this Jet franchise. I've seen on this Jet franchise in years. Bash the team through the media, bash the team through social media, and he is on his way to Seattle to play for the Seattle Seahawks. I assume a new contract is going to come his way as well for Seattle because they gave up a lot to get a player who's a disgruntled player in the National Football League. So let's just quickly take a look. What do the Jets get for Jamal Adams? They get 2 first-round picks. They get a first-round pick in 2022. They get a first-round pick in 2021 and 2022, for that matter. A third-round pick in 2021, as well as safety Bradley McDougald. They get him as well. So Adams on his way out, McDougal on his way in to replace Adams on the roster, and a whole bunch of draft picks as Joe Douglas wields his magic sword and gets it done. And this coming after just a day after a report came out through the New York Daily News, basically what was a one-on-one interview with Jamal Adams and Manish Mehta, in which Adams tore apart head coach Adam Gase, said that he was not the right leader for the organization, that Gase did not and does not address the team during games if the team is down, doesn't provide much motivation for this team. He ripped him to shreds. There was also that Joe Douglas is an inexperienced GM. He ripped him. And remember, 2 days earlier, when all the stuff came out about owner Woody Johnson, whether he allegedly said racist and sexist comments, Adams was one of the first players, maybe the only player for that matter, on the Jets to publicly rip Woody Johnson as he tore him apart in a tweet as well, saying that he was not the right leader and the Jets need the right leaders at the top. So he did everything, did Adams, to get himself traded from this team. He did not endear himself well to this coaching staff, did not endear himself well to management, and like we see with a lot of players like Antonio Brown, Terrell Owens, a lot of these guys, they talk their ways out of these teams, and they get themselves sometimes to better situations if they are able to play well. And Adams going to the Seattle Seahawks, hey, look, that's still a very good franchise, well-run franchise, of course, with Pete Carroll at the top as head coach, Russell Wilson at quarterback. He's going to fit well in Seattle as a defensive player for the Seahawks. Will Jamal Adams. What the Jets get back, though, is a slew of draft picks. I know draft picks are a gamble. You never know what you're going to get with draft picks. I totally understand that. Keep in mind, you get 2 first-round picks. You get a third-round pick. You get a fourth-round pick. That's what we were talking about about a month or so ago when we had Dan Feuerstein on and we were having the debate about what the Jets should do with Jamal Adams. We both said that the Jets are going to have to get multiple first-round picks for him, and they were able to do just that. So that part accomplished for Gang Green. Bradley McDougald, I don't know much about Bradley McDougald. He is 29 years old. Not much of a sack. He's not much of a guy who's going to get after the quarterback. Only has a half sack in his career, but he does have a lot of tackles throughout his career. 451 total tackles in his career. He's been around for a while. He's been around since 2013. He does have in his career 10 interceptions in his career. No touchdowns brought back, but he is a guy who will make picks. He will make plays. He will make plays. So he is been a fairly decent player. Is he as good as Jamal Adams was circa last season? Probably not. Of course not. Adams was a very good player, a great player. It's tough to replace that kind of player, but that's who the Jets get in this trade. And I know that a lot of Jet fans are going to be kind of divided on what this on this trade. A lot of Jet fans love Jamal Adams. They wanted the team to keep him. They wanted him extended for a long-term contract. Others wanted him to leave because of the distraction he had become. So keep in mind here, the Jets said numerous times they wanted to give Adams a contract extension. They wanted to keep him here long-term. Unfortunately, you have a situation where There was concerns about the salary cap. The Jets had concerns about that moving forward into 2021 and 2022 because of the insecurity or uncertainty, for that matter, of what COVID-19 would do to football moving forward. Now, that was what Joe Douglas. That's the impression that he gave a lot of people, for that matter. But the Jets stood firm. They were not going to give Jamal Adams, who had 2 years remaining on his contract, and also had a potential franchise tag. The Jets didn't have to do anything. Adams was here. He had, like I said, a contract. And unfortunately, he wasn't honoring it by ripping the team, ripping the owner, ripping the coach, and the Jets felt they had no choice but to make this move at this point. And when you run to the media, this is what's going to happen. And that's what happened here for the Jets. They felt the need to go out there and get this out of the way, get what was becoming a distraction for them as training camp is about to open this week, out of the building. They really had no choice, unfortunately. Adams is a great player. Would have been nice to see him stay here as the Jet for a long time, but when you have a player who just didn't want to be here, the Jets had no choice. Then on the other hand, you have the issues regarding Adam Gase. And of course, Gase mentioned heavily in the article by Manish Mehta regarding Jamal Adams' distaste for the franchise. And certainly, look, let's be honest, Adam Gase is not a great head coach, and he has had a history of running players out of town when he was the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. Did it with Jay Ajayi, did it with Jarvis Landry, chased those guys out of Miami. So he has a very strong history of not relating well with players, and he butted heads with Adams here. Clearly, this was eventually going to come. And keep in mind, as I said before, Adams did nothing to help himself in this situation, and Seattle's going to make a gamble in that regard. They're going to trade a lot of picks for a guy who likes to talk and a guy who likes to make a lot of noise. So we'll see. We'll see if things do not go well in Seattle. Is he going to talk his way out of there? We'll see. Be interesting to see how they work out a long-term deal for him. But in the interim, Jamal Adams, his day as a member of the New York Jets is over, and now Gang Green moves on, and they will have a hard. They'll try to replace a good Pro Bowl player within the next couple of drafts, for that matter. As Adams now goes to Seattle, he gets what he wants. The Jets, in turn, get what they want, and they get a little peace and quiet, for that matter, as well. So remember, folks, that's going to do it for this one. Remember to follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/OpenMicProgram, at OpenMicNJ on Twitter. Remember to like and subscribe right here to the Sports Talk Nation for the latest.